Welcome to Cash Talk Podcast.
Real talk. What if everything you were taught about money was wrong?
Okay, that's a bold way to start.
I mean it. Like, what if the advice your parents gave you, the stuff their parents told them, what if it was broken from the very beginning?
Now I'm nervous.
Good. Stay nervous, because today we're opening one of the most talked about money books of all time, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And I promise, by the end of this episode, you will never think about a paycheck the same way again.
Welcome to Cash Talk Podcast, where we build two things at the same time, your financial brain and your English. I'm Sara.
And I'm Ollie. Let's get into it.
Before we go deep, give people a quick picture. What is this book actually about?
So on the surface, it looks like a memoir. Kiyosaki grew up in Hawaii with two father figures. His biological dad, highly educated, PhD, worked for the government his whole life, believed in job security, pension plans, working your way up the ladder.
Which sounds like completely reasonable.
That's what makes this book uncomfortable at first. Because Poor Dad's advice isn't stupid, it's the standard advice. Study hard, get a good job, save your money.
But
Poor Dad died without financial freedom. He worked his entire life and never broke the cycle. And then there's Rich Dad, his best friend's father. Didn't finish 8th grade, but became one of the wealthiest men in Hawaii.
same island, same economy, completely different outcomes.
And Kiyosaki spent his whole childhood watching these two men and asking himself, why?
And the answer isn't what most people expect.
Not even close. Okay, let's break down some vocabulary before this conversation gets heavy, because these words are going to keep coming up.
First term, mindset.
Mindset means the way you think about something, your beliefs, your default assumptions. So a money mindset is how you naturally think about earning, spending, saving. Most of us didn't choose our money mindset, we inherited it.
From our parents, our culture, our environment. You absorb it without realizing it. Second term, financial literacy.
Financial literacy is the ability to understand how money works, not just how to earn it, but how it moves, how it grows, how it disappears. Think of it like reading. If you can't read words, the world is confusing. If you're financially illiterate, money is confusing.
And Kiyosaki's argument, the school system teaches you almost none of this.
Almost zero. You learn history, algebra, literature, but nobody sits you down and says, here's how money actually works in the real world.
Third term, earned income.
Earned income is the money you get from working, your salary, your hourly wage. You trade your time for money. Simple. But here's the catch. You stop working, the money stops too.
And last, financial independence.
Financial independence means you don't need a job to survive. Your money is generating more money whether you're working or not. You've built something that runs without requiring your time every single day.
Which for most of us still feels like a fantasy.
For now.
All right, let's really get into these two dads because this is the heart of episode 1.
So Kiyosaki calls them simply Rich Dad and Poor Dad. Poor Dad is his biological father. Smart man, hardworking, genuinely cared about his son. His whole philosophy was get educated, get a stable job, work your way up, and the system will take care of you.
And for a long time, that philosophy worked for a lot of people.
It did. But Poor Dad never achieved financial freedom. He was always one paycheck away from stress. And what's interesting is he never really questioned why. He just kept doing what he was told to do.
Which is actually the scariest part of his story.
Right. It's not that he was lazy. It's that he trusted a system without ever asking whether that system was truly working for him.
And Rich Dad?
Rich Dad had almost no formal education, but he had a completely different relationship with money. He didn't think about getting money. He thought about building money. He understood ownership. He understood that there's a difference between working for income and creating income.
And here's what Kiyosaki keeps coming back to. Both men were smart. Both worked hard. The difference was purely in how they thought about money.
Which is uncomfortable because we like to believe that if you just work hard enough, financial success follows. But Kiyosaki's saying hard work without the right mindset just makes you very tired.
That's a sentence worth sitting with.
Hard work without the right mindset just makes you very tired.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, let's compare them directly because Kiyosaki does this in the book and it hits hard.
Let's do it.
Rich Dad used to say, I can't afford it. Rich Dad used to say, how can I afford it?
That sounds like a small difference.
It is not a small difference. I can't afford it is a closed door. Your brain stops. The conversation ends. But how can I afford it? That's a question. And questions force your brain to work, to search, to problem solve.
Rich Dad believed your brain is the most powerful financial tool you have, and if you keep shutting it down with, I can't, you're basically turning off the engine.
Rich Dad believed in job security above everything, a stable salary, a pension, benefits. And again, that's not evil advice, but Kiyosaki noticed that fear was driving those decisions.
Fear of losing the job, fear of risk, fear of the unknown.
And fear, he argues, is what keeps most people financially stuck. Not laziness, not bad luck. Fear.
Because when you're operating from fear, you don't take the steps that could actually change your situation.
You stay comfortable instead of growing, and comfort and growth rarely happen at the same time.
Comfort and growth rarely happen at the same time.
That one hit me when I first read it.
Me too, honestly.
Okay, Allie, I want to ask you something real.
Uh-oh.
When you first read this book, which dad did your family sound like?
Poor dad. Completely. My parents came from a place where survival was the goal. Get a job, keep the job, don't take risks. That was the mentality. And I'm not blaming them at all. That was the right move for survival.
Right, there's nothing wrong with that for the season it was needed.
Nothing wrong with it. But when I read this book, I remember feeling like someone had just shown me a door I didn't know existed. Like, wait, there are people who think about money completely differently, and it's not magic. It's just a different set of questions.
That's exactly it. Kiyosaki doesn't hand you a formula. He hands you a lens, a different way of looking at the same reality.
And once you see through that lens, you can't unsee it.
Which is why this book still gets talked about 30 years later.
Because the questions it asks don't get old.
Before we close out, let's bring back the key terms from today.
Mindset, the way you naturally think about something. Your money mindset was mostly shaped before you even realized it.
Earned income, money you get by trading your time for it. Work stops, money stops.
Financial independence, when your money works for you, when you don't need a paycheck every 2 weeks to survive.
And a phrase from today's conversation, hard work with the wrong mindset just makes you very tired. Write that one down.
Seriously. All right, we've set the stage. 2 dads, 2 mindsets, same starting point, completely different destinations.
And here's what I want you to sit with before next episode. Ask yourself honestly, which dad do I sound like right now? Not which one you want to be. Which one do you currently sound like when you talk about money?
Be real with yourself, because that's where the work starts.
And speaking of work, in episode 2, we're going into something Kiyosaki calls the rat race. And once you understand what it is, the way you look at your salary will never be the same.
It's one of those ideas that sounds simple, but lands heavy.
Very heavy.
Episode 2 is coming. And if today's episode made you think, drop a comment. Tell us, growing up, which dad did your family sound like?
No judgment, just honest conversation. That's what we're here for.
I'm Allie.
I'm Sara.
This is Cash Talk Podcast. See you next episode.